We're good?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start over with that question.
Okay. What mistakes do most small businesses make when trying to produce their own videos, and how can they be avoided?
I think the biggest mistake someone who's trying to use video content on social media to grow their business, grow their brand, is being led by a sense of anxiety, or being led by anxiety of, I'm not doing enough, I have to be putting out content because that's what everyone else says you have to do if you're going to grow online. Which, I mean, those people are right. Obviously, if you have an online presence, you're really expanding your reach with people. You know, you're just casting a much wider net. But what mistakes? I mean, stock photos, especially AI generated stock photos. A lot of people are able to spot that those are fake and that it's just low effort. And it really, trying to cheat your way with your content creation is a really great way to disrespect people's time, because your audience has been very generous in giving you their attention, and it's up to you on how you're going to use that. And it's also seeing your audience as just like, oh, we got to get more eyeballs. Like, you need to recognize that these are actual human beings like you with thoughts and feelings. Like, how would you want to be addressed on video? Yeah, it's social media. Yeah, it's casual. Yeah, you kind of, you're not using like all of your brain when you're watching stuff on social media. But still, wouldn't it be nice if someone actually, cared? A big mistake people make is putting out content just for the sake of putting out content. They're being led by anxiety. They think, oh, I have to be putting out content, because that's what everyone else says you should be doing. Instead of just genuinely sharing with people what you're passionate about. Approach social media as if you really were meeting these people in person. I really don't like a lot of this attention hijacking stuff when you put these little riser sound effects on everything because, oh, that keeps people's attention. I'm like, well, do you even really believe that what it is that you're sharing is worth listening to? And if you don't, you're just chalking up your video with all this crap. A big mistake they make is trying to conform to a certain style that's trending. Like, that might get you some attention, but I keep drawing blanks. I have a great idea and I start talking about it, and then my train thought just crashes mid-course.
Here's what ChatGPT says in its kind of descriptor. Common pitfalls include poor audio quality, inconsistent lighting, lack of a clear script and plan, and forgetting to have a strong call to action. To avoid these, invest in basics like a quality microphone and proper lighting, outline your key points before filming, and always guide viewers on what to do next, like visiting your website or scheduling a call.
I see that. I was thinking the question was asking something different. Well, we can revisit that later.
Okay. All right, here's question number 8. How can I repurpose a single piece of video content across multiple platforms without it feeling repetitive?
So it'll help knowing what platforms you're going to post it to before you even bring out the gear. I get wanting to repurpose something, but actually just know before you make the video that it's going to go to multiple different platforms. So one thing I do is I film in OpenGate on my GH7 here. because that gives me room to crop for platforms like YouTube and for social media in the same clip. That's just one example of how to do it. But go into the video knowing that you're putting it on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Rednote, the new Chinese TikTok alternative that came out. I don't want to say that. Instead, I'd say the best way to go about it, instead of saying, okay, I have this piece of content, now how do I repurpose it for social media? Because I really hate those Instagram and TikTok videos where it's like, oh, part 2 of 9, and then you have to hunt for all the other parts on someone's profile. Like, that's a pain in the ass, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna check out, I'll watch something different. It's best if you go into producing that video knowing all the platforms you're going to post it to well in advance. But let's say, you have a customer testimonial video that's 5 minutes long. Instead of breaking that up into 6 videos to post on social media, part 1, part 2, part 3 of 6, find topics within that video that can stand on their own as their own like self-contained video. I'd say don't try to lead people to other sections of the video just to get them to visit your profile, because that will piss off more audience members than it will get the ones who are intrigued to visit your profile. If your stuff is good and what you do in the world is good anyway, people are going to be visiting your profile anyway. But if you're going to break it up, don't advertise it as part 3 of 9. Make sure it can stand on its own as its own self-contained piece. So for example, a custom home builder homeowner testimonial. In the video, the homeowner talked about the TV room and the whiskey bar. So him just talking about the TV room and the whiskey bar and how the homeowner helped him take that idea from some vague notion in his mind to something actually material in his home, that's a story on its own. Yes, it fits into a much larger story, but it can also be presented on its own as well. And that mentality of knowing that I think I covered it there.
All right. How long should my videos be? And does that length vary by platform? Instagram, YouTube, etc.
I don't really like that question, how long should my video be, because everyone's got so many opinions. They're like, oh, the video can't be any longer than 30 seconds because people are gonna click away because it's boring after 30 seconds. Like, that's so non-specific. One of my favorite movies of all time is Oppenheimer. That movie is 3 hours long. It uses those 3 hours insanely well. If I throw it on casually on my TV just to have like some background noise, I can't help but get sucked back into the story. And of course I end up watching it till the end and wasting a bunch of time because the movie is that good. Okay, so why is 3 hours a bad thing if it uses those 3 hours really well? And I've seen some movies that feel like they drag on forever even though they're only an hour and a half long, because there's just no momentum and it's boring. It feels like you're scraping nails on a chalkboard. And sometimes if there's a 10-second video of complete gibberish and bullshit that adds nothing to the world, then that's just as much, I'd say that's just as bad of a waste of time as the 90-minute movie that also sucks. So how long should your video be? As long as it needs to be. As long or as short as it needs to be. Don't worry about length. Worry about what you're actually sharing with the world. Optimize everything around it, including video length, to that. But in my opinion, something about how long a video should be one of the last things you're asking yourself. Obviously, like YouTube Shorts caps everything at 60 seconds. Instagram used to be 90 seconds, but now it's 3 minutes again. TikTok for a while allowed you to go up to 10 minutes, and now you can upload videos that are over an hour long. All of that's changing, but more and more we're realizing like length constraints are getting less important every year. It's all about how well you're using the time that you already have. So if it takes 30 seconds to communicate that idea well, amazing. If it takes 5 minutes to communicate something And if it needs to be 5 minutes, then yeah, it should be 5 minutes long. But length should be one of the last things you're considering. The first thing you should be considering is, am I telling a good story?
All right. Question number 10. What's the difference between a brand film and a typical social media ad? And when should I invest in each?
What's the difference between a brand film and a social media ad?
Yeah, and when should I invest in each?
That's a pretty loaded question. Obviously, a brand film is a pretty overarching piece telling the entire story of your business and, you know, the good that you do in the world. It's aiming to capture a feeling that your audience is going to resonate with and associate you with that good feeling that you created within them. A brand film, however, isn't typically run as an ad. You're typically putting that piece on your website's About Us section or on the front page of your website. Whereas a social media ad is going to be a much shorter piece, typically highlighting a certain product or service that you sell. Or it's simply a piece of organic content that performed really well that people liked a lot, and you're just running it as an ad to reach more people with it. And also, there's also a lot of other ads that are going directly for the sale. A brand film isn't necessarily going for the sale, it's just sharing who you are and what you do, how you make the world better. I don't know if I like that question very much. It's kind of vague. Can you just move on to the next one?
All right, question number 11. How can behind-the-scenes footage humanize my brand and connect with potential customers?
Oh, people love seeing the inner workings of stuff. You know, it just... behind-the-scenes clips, and behind-the-scenes content, it shows you when you're not all polished. And people like that. That's actually a thing that's trending on social media. 10, 15 years ago, people talked about, social media was a lot like magazines, where everyone wanted to appear super perfect. And there's still spaces on social media where that exists, but for the majority, especially for like small businesses, knowledge-based entrepreneurs, your audience wants to know that you're a real person like them. And so showing stuff behind the scenes, showing really casual stuff, even if you're deliberately filming it on like an iPhone or like a bad quality camera or something, not that that's what an iPhone is. I don't like, how does it humanize your brand? I would say, well, it just does. You know, people see the side of you that's not polished and perfect, and you're much more relatable to them.
Yeah.
Next.
Keep going?
Yeah, keep going. I'm fine.
What does the pre-production process look like? And why is it crucial for a successful shoot?
So there's a saying in the film production world, an hour of pre-production saves you 10 hours on set. You know, you're anticipating problems that might arise and going ahead and fixing them then. You're mitigating surprises, you know. How does pre-production... It's just helping the client be more prepared. It's helping them know what to expect. And I'd say if I'm filming a series of short form content for a client, just like this video here, where they're sitting down, they're talking to me next to the camera and sharing what they know. If they're able to rehearse that ahead of time and visualize, I don't like that question. Just do the next one.
How can knowledge-based entrepreneurs leverage educational videos to establish authority and trust?
So if you're a knowledge-based entrepreneur, and by this, that's a therapist, a life coach, a personal trainer, even a dentist, any kind of, or a barber, or some kind of, you perform a service for people that you had to take years to learn. There's a lot of expertise there. When you give away your secrets, when you just share your knowledge with people from your years of experience and everything that you've learned, it's showing that, you know, one, you're not like a gatekeeper of all this. You actually just genuinely want to help. Even if it appears like you're gonna like lose sales by giving away your secrets, truthfully, what you're actually selling is the implementation of your knowledge and not the knowledge itself. You know, truly what you're selling isn't the knowledge itself, but the implementation of it. So giving away your secrets, educating people on social media on what you are an expert in, it is going to make you very transparent because you're just willing to give away your secrets. You're so generous with all that. That's like, wow, he's giving this away for free. I wonder what it's going to be like whenever I start paying him. And also it's getting the client closer to your level, so they're not having to ask so many basic questions. They already have an idea of what you do. They understand you're an expert. Really, by sharing all of your expertise, it's just convincing them that you are an expert. They may not remember everything, but they're certainly going to remember a feeling of trust. Oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows what he's doing. I can trust him. And no, I kind of want to keep going with it. This will be the last one we can cut after this. I'm kind of running out of brain steam.
Okay, question number 14. When does it make sense to use testimonials?
I'm not ready for. I'm still gone on the last one.
Oh.
Just ask me the question again.
How can knowledge-based entrepreneurs leverage educational videos to establish authority and trust?
So quite a few things happen when you put out educational content. Well, so if you are a knowledge-based entrepreneur, that's a therapist, a dentist, a personal trainer, a barber, a videographer, where basically the service that you do wouldn't have been possible without years of study and practice. You have a lot of expertise that makes you very valuable. And when you give that expertise away as knowledge, not as the implementation of the knowledge, because that's the thing you actually sell, is implementing it. I can teach a client how to make a video all day, but they're probably still not going to make a video as good as I'm going to be able to make a video. But by teaching them how to do it, I'm generously sharing my expertise with them. I need to put this in the third person. When you are generously sharing your expertise with people on social media, it might appear like you're giving away your secrets and that's going to actually drive your sales down. The truth is, people aren't going to know it in their bones the way you, the entrepreneur, do. But when you generously share your expertise online like that, it creates a lot of trust because it's very evident that you know what you're talking about and that you know what you're doing. And if you're generous enough to share that with people online, it kind of gets them fantasizing about what it might be to like to work with you once they actually start paying you. And it's pre-qualifying people. When they've watched a lot of your educational videos and then they come hire you for something, they're not going to be asking you a ton of questions about how this works. They have a pretty good idea about it and they trust you, but an educated client is going to be a very easy client to work with. So if you can get them to understand a little bit of why, how, and what you do, there's just less explaining you have to do after the fact, if you've already done it ahead of time on video, on social media. That's good. We can cut. My brain is tired.